The strategies that I'm going to be talking about today come from the discussion toolkit from the Muskingum College website. I chose to do discussion because it's a big part of my content. I teach English, and in my classroom I use discussions all the time, and I rely on them to have the kids talk to each other about different ideas and things that they think of when they read text and they're analyzing text. And beyond the classroom, I think that discussion is a vital life skill for our students to learn and to go out into the world to use, because we discuss things on an everyday basis. And I think learning how to voice your ideas comfortably to someone else and in turn listen to ideas being voiced to you in a genuine and meaningful way is an important skill for our students to learn. So that's why I chose to analyze these learning strategies. So 2 strategies from the discussion toolkit that I really liked are the pair talk and the jigsaw strategies. So I'll start off with the pair talk. So the pair talk has you pair together 2 students, student A and student B, and you assign them a topic or a subject or a question to talk about, and they take turns. So for example, I teach English, so let's say that I split up my students into pairs, and I ask them to discuss what a certain character's motivations are for doing something in the story or throughout the story. Student A will take 60 seconds to talk to student B about what they think the character's motivations are. And then after the 60 seconds are over, student B will have 30 seconds to respond to student A's ideas. And then the vice versa will happen. So student B will then have 60 seconds to discuss what they think the character's motivations are to student A. And then after the 60 seconds, student A will have 30 seconds to respond back to student B. I really like this strategy because it gives a really easy model for the students to follow for what a discussion, a one-on-one discussion should look like. So the kids have very clear expectations for what they should be doing in that time frame. Instead of just telling them to talk about it, it gives them a more structured frame to follow, so everyone's really clear on what the expectations are. I also specifically really like the strategy, especially for kids who if you know you've got a classroom with lots of like anxious students, this is a great way to teach like this, or like to encourage collaborative learning without having students speak out in front of a whole class, but instead it's just a one-on-one interaction. The second strategy for discussion that I really like, especially in my content area, is jigsaw. So in jigsaw, you have you split your class up into groups of like 3 to 4 students, and each group will be assigned a topic, a subject, or a question to answer, and they have to become essentially experts on that topic. And then you jigsaw the groups. So now each group has an expert of whatever they learned about in their original group. And now they are disseminating that information that they learned to their group. So everybody takes a turn to tell their group mates what they learned in their group. So for example, in my classroom, in an English classroom specifically, I really love this for reading. I don't give reading homework. So sometimes when we have a lot of reading to get through, I'll do a jigsaw activity. So I'll split the students up into groups of like 3 or 4 and have each group be in charge of reading and analyzing key details and events in a certain chapter or paragraph. And then I will split the groups up and have them report the information for like the whole page or the whole chapter or the whole like chapter set that I gave them. So that way a lot of content gets covered, but it's still a lot of content gets covered quickly, but still has meaning to the kids because they had to learn what happened in the interim, and I found a lot of success with this activity. I also think that the discussion, teaching, to close kind of, I think teaching kids about discussion is also like a big piece to teach them how to be self-advocates and advocate for themselves and their needs. There's a quote from the Wright's Law website that says that advocacy is important for students because they have the knowledge needed to succeed, and they have to be given the chance to participate in decisions that are being made about their lives. And I think that's difficult to do if you don't know how to have discussions with other people. So that's a big reason why I chose these strategies. Thank you.